Folks, ladies and gentlemen, the Power Hour is live. Hello, I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, and over there is Mr. Dugenais Bland. He's not bland. He's actually spicier than, well, Creole sauce. He's got it going on his show, the Not Bland Show, and beyond in the world of motorsports and also sports. You know what, Dugenais, let's take the time in intro. People understand a little bit more about you, your platform, and even your expertise. Sometimes I think people forget like what we're in, what we're doing, and beyond being talking heads on the Competition Plus Power Hour. So what all do you do in the world of, I'm not just going to say motorsports, but sports?
Well, I am the senior NFL writer for SportsJourney.com. I will be the senior NFL writer for the Jacksonville Jaguars for Heavy.com. Also am the camera guy, usually on the far end for Southeast Gases Association. And, of course, I do your NHRA coverage also as far as being an NHRA insider for Sports Journey as well. And I am the content director of SportsJourney.com.
Boom. There you have it, folks. So Dugenais is involved in many things. And, look, I think you can bring some interesting perspective to the world of drag racing as it continues to claw for professional status, like the NHRA, for example. And yet at times it does things that are so contrary, it seems, to other professional outfits. So having your voice on it certainly is important. I'm glad that you're a part of the Competition Plus Power Hour. Well, tonight we've got Elon Warner coming on, the PR great, the founder, establisher of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, the game that so many of you play along with that breaks your hearts each and every national event weekend because your bracket got busted. That can happen on Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And then I am looking forward to talking with Buddy Hole later on. Certainly no stranger to the show, but we are talking with him with certainly different circumstances than normal because he was not in his ride this past weekend. Jim Campbell had to fill the seat for that race there at Brainerd International Raceway, the Menards Jim Dunn Racing Nitro Funny Car.
Yeah, he was not happy about not being able to get in the car. He was doing everything he could to get in the car, but got to get healthy, and that's what he's trying to do so he can get back as soon as possible. And what a guy to fill the seat, man. He's a vet. He's been there, done that, and I think that was a pretty cool, and I thought once I heard it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I figured that's the route they would go.
It made sense. Jim Campbell obviously, knows that team, and he knows how they operate. He knows operationally what they want out of that car and what they want in the car and what they want from a driver. So putting the gentleman in that was in that seat a driver ago, counting Alex Laughlin there. So Buddy, Alex Laughlin, Jim Campbell, not that long removed from that seat. He was certainly a good person to fill that seat and, get the car fielded for that national event at least. So good for Jim Dunn Racing. I will say overall, Dugenais, I'm not sure what you were able to watch of the NHRA national event. I was not able to watch any of it with my work with Funny Car Chaos and being in transit on Sunday from that race back to Tennessee. So that was Byron, Illinois to Manchester, Tennessee. Long trip, but it worked out. Nonetheless, from what I saw, I looked at the detailed elimination results and the ladder results on NHRA.com. I looked at Top Fuel, and I'm like, man, there were some exciting races in Top Fuel. And then I looked at Funny Car, and I was just like, blah.
Yeah.
Like, nothing stood out.
It didn't. It was a mess, though. I mean, if you played Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, my bracket was done after first round. It was bad. Everything was in the red. Everything. The only thing I got right in Funny Car was Austin Prop. So, yeah, it was a little bit meh on that side. Top Fuel, though, a lot of good matchups, a lot of close races over there. To see Doug had that 72 early in the first round, and he was in the 60s, lived in the 60s the rest of the day. So those two Coletta cars are going to be tough come countdown time. And we see some other cars making moves as well. I mean, you look at Funny Car, and there's a slew of guys making moves. It's too bad we don't have the hard cutoff at 10, because we have I think it's 2 or 3 drivers within 4 points of each other to make the top 10. I mean, Cruz could literally go from 11 to 7 by the end of Indy. That's how close that bottom half of the ladder is. But Pro Stock was Pro Stock. Looks like Elite is finding its footing. And I thought people were saying that Elite was back a little bit too early, and we've got enough evidence now. And I think you can say that they're back. But the fact of the matter is KB is still KB. So as long as KB is still going to be KB, and if you can't leave on them enough, you might as well just go over there and walk over there and do what Teddy Pendergrass said and turn off the light, because it's over. So they got to find a way to, get off the line first, and substantially, really, in order to get the win. It's just that close in Pro Stock, and they're just that good right now.
Absolutely. It was on the NHRA Insider podcast. They had Brian Loans obviously being the host, but Kevin McKenna was on, and Tony Petragon was on as well. And they were talking about Pro Stock before going into the event. And they did mention Erica, and whatever they need to figure out with Erica in particular, like, her lights are not slow, but they're not Erica lights that we are accustomed to. And the average of her lights right now is just not where you want them to be competitive in the class. So that may very well be confidence for her in the car. It may be something in the car. But when you are behind ET-wise, especially in that class, you have got to aim for giving yourself a little bit from the starting line, whatever that is. And I don't know. I think of it this way. If I'm behind and I know I got to cut the tree, if I don't cut the tree, I'm losing anyway. I'm going to cut it close as I can to red to give me a shot to pick up a win light. So the performance, we're starting to see it come back around for Elite. We all knew that eventually it would happen, but it is still not performance that I think is going to be able to go head to head with KB at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think so. And that team's been going through a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if, there's something that we don't know about that's going off the track that's kind of, maybe have her a little bit distracted. But yeah, you got to find a way to get it done. I'm going to look at the results here. Let's go to Pro Stop. I wasn't really paying attention. I just was paying attention to their performance mostly. But let's see here. Erica on the day, you look at it, round 1, she had a 21 in that first round. She had a 14 in round 2. It just got better as the day went on. She had a 9 in 009 against Dallas. Just wasn't enough. And they weren't that far off. She had a 657. He had a 657 with a 9. She had a 658 with a 3. And just faster. Just faster.
So going in the Brainerd, they worked on something. She worked on something, got something together, because that sounds a whole lot better than the NHRA Insider podcast talking about that average. She helped, lower that average this past weekend with performances like that. So whatever in the car or for her, apparently there's a bit more confidence to go out there and do what exactly she did. And hey, right there, what you just described, that's just a good close drag race.
Yeah. And, she had the thing of it is, too, the car is definitely back. If you look at, you're not close to Greg. Greg was stupid good. 52 in first round, 652 in that first round, then a 55, a 55, a 55. Both two with a 1 and 1 with a 5. She had a 656 in the first round, a 57 in the second round with a 2, and then a 58. If she had that 57 with a 2, she likely would beat Dallas. It would have been a close race, but it'd been a 652 to a 659, and that's probably a win for Erica, and she's on to the final round. So just car didn't repeat like it did in the second round, but they're close. But nobody this weekend was close to Greg. I think Dallas had a 56 and a 55 in first in round 1, and then in round 2, and his numbers started to go up as the day went on, and Greg's numbers went down as the day went on.
Well, we got the U.S. Nationals not too far away. We'll see what Elite Motorsports is capable of doing, and maybe they are getting hot at the right time to battle, well, honestly, when it matters.
Yes.
I know we're crowning this year regular season champions, and there's bigger paychecks on the line, but honestly, beyond this year, who's going to remember what? Who is the champion at the end of the season? And we're about to get into the battles just soon enough on that for the NHRA Mission Foods champions in the professional categories. So maybe Elite is getting hot at the right time. Maybe they can pull out a New York Giants type of situation.
Maybe it could very well be possible. It's either going to be one of those, or they're going to be talking a Dennis Green type deal where they were who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook type of thing.
Yes. Well, folks, we're going to take our first break of the night. We're going to get Elon Warner on the PR grade, the man behind Warner Communications, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. All this brought to you by Weldon High Performance. For your pump applications, whether aviation or in high performance, such as on the drag strip, Weldon High Performance is the pump that you need. Elon Warner here on the Competition Plus Power Hour. How's it going, man?
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Oh, doing great.
Hey, I'm great. Home, ready to talk about drag racing live. Can't be no better.
It is. I mean, it's Indy. We're now Brainerd taillights. We're now about to take off like a rocket ship. U.S. Nationals, and then right into the countdown. So I'm excited. We're gonna have a busy weekend or week in Indy. I mean, it is it's a marathon, not a sprint. But yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
It is. I'm really interested to see how there's some battles that, especially at the top, where there could be some position jockeying going into the countdown. There are also some real good possibilities that, especially in Top Fuel, that all the way down to Justin Ashley really has a shot. Now, it needs some things to go in his direction to kind of give him that shot. But if the top two somehow meet each other in the first round or the second round and they cannibalize each other,
right,
he could literally have a shot at the end if he can go to distance.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting battle.
Yeah, so Top Fuel, I think there's, like you said, there's 4 guys, maybe 5 that have an outside shot. Pro Stock, it's really obviously between Dallas and Greg. Pro Stock Motorcycle, Gage and Richard. One of the weird things that irritates me a little bit about the NHRA sometimes is basically Austin Prock clinched the regular season championship in Brainerd.
I talked about that on my show.
And basically there was no real mention of it because theoretically he could oil the track down or cross the center line every single round of qualifying and lose enough points to make it a mathematical option for Jack Beckman to get around him. Anyone with any common sense knows that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
So Austin Prock is your regular season funny car champion, which I think is great. He's having a dominant season. He's motivated to go after that second championship. But what I think has been really interesting is, and I meant to get these numbers before I came on, is once they reset the points, like you said, guys are going to get bunched up and there's going to be some shuffling in that kind of 7 to 4 range. But when they take those Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty points and add those in, the Coletta guys have a ton of them. And even if Sean, does wind up number one, Doug will be able to close that 30-point gap to get it probably pretty close to under a round of racing, get it under 20.
Right.
These other guys that have these bonus points, it's going to really, I think, this year bunch a lot of guys up so that going into the countdown, everyone talks about if you can average a semifinal qualifier finishing position, you have a really good shot at the championship. But I think this year more than ever, you're going to need to average semifinal, but then also get to at least 2 finals, if not 3, to even be in consideration on Sunday of Pomona. And it's going to be, and there's the introduction of Tony Schumacher. You might be familiar with his work. That's going to be a game changer for Clay Millican, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I was actually talking to Clay in Brainerd. He's super excited about having Tony. He was very mindful to not call him a blocker, but he did say that everybody that Tony beats that's in the countdown is a bonus for Clay. And I think that's going to be really interesting. I think Ida's going to be running really well. Curious to see what the Torrances do. I mean, when Billy can roll out that dragster and go to the semis or whatever in Brainerd, that shows how strong that team is. I mean, and you got guys that, obviously we've talked about this before. Top Fuel is down as far as car counts. But, would a guy like Trip Tatum come out for a couple races? There's some dragsters out there. TJ Zizzo could be a factor at the U.S. Nationals. He's, maybe do 1 or 2 more races. It's just going to be interesting. I think I'm super excited about the countdown. And I just really think that, could be a storybook year for Sean Reed.
It could be.
It would basically be the all-time hypothetical. Would you chop off one of your fingers to win a world championship?
Literally.
I mean, not to make a lot of the situation, but I mean, that's the kind of crazy thing. That car's running good. So that's Indy's going to be a wild week. One thing, they're JFR is hosting a memorial service for the great Bernie Federley on Thursday. You got the funny car call out on Sunday. You have every category racing over the course of the weekend. And it's just going to be, Indy's going to be Indy. They have a new tower that I think is going to be spectacular. I think they're doing a press conference tomorrow to kind of show that off. So just so many positives going on. Going on with the sport right now. And I got distracted there when I saw Memphis Lonnie's post about DRB. I think they were doing a little bit of maintenance today. So it's probably not being upgraded. We're just kind of cleaning it up a little bit. We're going to have an announcement next week of some little bonus action for the U.S. Nationals and into the countdown. But it's, something that a lot of people have been asking for. So we'll get that up and running. But Drag Race Bracket Bonanza is growing. We'll have championship belts for the countdown. We are Going to have the helmet for the overall champion. So it's going to be, it's going to be a knife fight in a phone booth, even in Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, which is fun. So we love. Actually, I mailed out prizes today, and I think I mailed prizes. Pardon me. I mailed prizes to New Jersey, Mississippi, Minnesota, and trying to mail one to Ohio. Had a little bit of a bad address, so we haven't quite hit all 50 states yet with prizes. I think we're about 4 states short. But it's going gangbusters. So we now have T-shirts. We're giving away T-shirts at the races.
So
yeah.
My question is, did they ever figure out what they plan on doing as far as the funny car, Too Fast, Too Tasty, since they're having the call out there?
I don't know that they're going to do it at that race. I mean, historically, they could still do it because it's going to be on Saturday. So all the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty stuff, I bet will be on Saturday. So you'll still have the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty stuff on Saturday, and then they'll go into Funny Car Call Out on Sunday, if I had to guess. Not looking at the schedule right in front of me. But they could do that they could do all the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty stuff on Saturday, and then Funny Car Call Out on Sunday, and then go right into the race on Monday. So, and you got FlexJet Factory Stock Showdown, so you got all those guys trying to – they're coming down. Can Mark Powick repeat as FlexJet Factory Stock Showdown World Champion? I think that's a tough guy to bet against. His car's running really good. I know Josh Hart's going to be eager to, get back behind the wheel of his Bernie's FlexJet Factory Stock Showdown car and, do double duty. I mean, Josh is another guy that's looking forward to the U.S. Nationals. He's won it a couple times in Top Out called Dragster, but guy's just doing everything he can to get another win. And I think a win at the U.S. Nationals would give that team a lot of momentum. They're right around 8th in points. I think they could get up to 6th with some breaks. And then you can go into the countdown 6th in points. You're essentially 3 rounds out of the number 1 spot. He's had some success in his career in those countdown races. We could see what could happen.
It looks like right now the schedule with the U.S. National Saturday does include Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge for Top Fuel and Funny Car, and then Sunday with what we were having discussed here on the show is the All-Star Funny Car Call Out. So Too Fast, Too Tasty will still take place. Sunday would be the call out for the floppers. Elon, look, we are void of the storylines of a hard top 10 and who's in, who's out, who's going on in the countdown. So predictions story-wise of like what the NHRA is really going to elbow drop into national broadcast and headlines to, get people looking at all the action taking place at Indy.
I think they're going to probably drop I would hope they're going to drop their 2026 schedule. That's got to be, so many sanctioning bodies are rolling out their schedule, IndyCar, IHRA, NASCAR. I think that you're going to get, if not the full schedule, 90% of the schedule. I know they're still talking to some tracks about extending their contracts or talking to some tracks about joining the series. I think, there's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, we could – now the thing that I would love to see would be some kind of announcement about our TV partner.
Agreed.
That would be attention grabbing. And I just don't know if that's where that stands. I've talked to some people. I'm encouraged that the fact that you're not hearing anything, because I think when you don't hear anything, that means big things are in the works. It's sometimes when it's going to be the status quo, or it might be underwhelming. You hear things starting to leak out to kind of soften the ground a little bit. But the fact that you're not hearing anything gives me a lot of excitement or confidence that the guys at Octagon, the guys at NHRA are really putting together a solid TV option, whether it's extending with Fox or, finding a new TV partner that's going to carry us into, who knows, streaming, additional shoulder programming, online programming, more, promotions. Who knows where that could lead. But I think these next this season, kind of as it concludes, there's going to be just a lot going on, I think, on the positive side for NHRA.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Because we need it. I saw
Yeah.
earlier a graph of ratings with motorsports, and the top NHRA drag race was 81st out of 100. ARCA Daytona ranked higher.
Yeah, and and I think that's a lot of, you get the bumps. I'll be very excited. The Motorplex is the Fox lead-in race for the NFL. I think that will really help IndyCar gets a lot of bump because the Indy 500. I think NHRA, like basically our Indy 500 type event, is that Fox NFL lead-in race to just get us a lot of eyeballs on that race. I'm excited the Stampede of Speed is going to be a part of that, especially with all the things we have going on at the Stampede of Speed, from the Jegs All-Stars to Jegs Friday Night Live to, I think you'll see some great countdown action. All the things, just the whole vibe of the Stampede of Speed with the Battle of the Saddle on Friday night. And then just all the pageantry that goes around. I think that'll really highlight the Motorplex celebrating its 40th year on the tour, the 40th Texas Fall Nationals, the Meyer family being involved in that. I think that'll be exciting. So I think that Fox race, the ratings for that will be key for us. And here's the other thing, Lee, when I look at the ratings, even being 81st, I think probably the gap between 81st and 50th is not that wide of a gap. And all linear TV numbers are kind of garbage now. I just saw a report that that streaming is now, most people are streaming. It's getting close to 50% of people are consuming TV streaming versus cable versus over the air. So without a streaming element, that hurts us, that doesn't, not that our NHRA.TV numbers are anything great, but I think, over the air numbers, you're talking the difference between 10 to 15,000 people watching a show, watching a race. And I think you get ARCA. NASCAR gets a huge advantage of some Friday broadcasts, some Saturday broadcasts that are just at better times, just because they're filler. So they probably get a little bit of a bump from once someone has their TV on Fox or CW or NBC, whatever they're watching, it just kind of stays there. And FS1 is more of a destination channel. I don't know how many people are just watching FS1 all day.
That's true. They're not.
So, but facts are facts. We need to get that number higher. We need to get our races in that top 50. We need to get more eyeballs on our races. And I don't know. I think that's a big consideration for our new TV partner is, what is our TV partner going to do to drive eyeballs to our show? And, the fact that Fox is invested in IndyCar is okay. So which one are we laughing at? Are we laughing at Drag Race Minutes when NHRA is going to streaming, or
I'm laughing at Buddy in the green room.
God dang it, Buddy. These knucklehead drivers. Come on. Is he mad because I'm eating into his time? Probably. Does he have Maverick there? I got him in the doghouse because he's having his family. Maverick Hull has got a full week of birthday activities as a 1-year-old.
As he should.
I agree. I'm not disputing that. But so Buddy had a family dinner tonight, and Buddy, like all racers, does not check a schedule and really didn't check with the boss about what his availability was tonight, because he may have had to cut his family Maverick first birthday dinner, and Mrs. Hull may not be. She may have a skillet ready to just smack him upside his head. So, but yeah, so, that's going to be, a big deal, all that stuff with TV and streaming. I'll be honest, I can't. Well, now NFL season's about to start, so I'll get back into over-the-air TV for NFL and college football. But right now, I haven't watched any other motorsports besides NHRA drag racing. I just don't mean that's my wheelhouse. I get it. And it'll be something to see, what we can kind of get out of our new TV partner, or as Fox extends. I'd love to, if we do extend with Fox, is there an opportunity to do some combo broadcasts with IndyCar and drag racing? I think there's some venues that you could do that. Is there some opportunity to do a four-wide race in conjunction with a NASCAR race in Charlotte? The biggest hiccup there is they use some of the parking at ZMAX for the NASCAR race, so they'd have to work on that. But I'd like to see our new TV deal include some unusual programming like NASCAR has with racing at the Coliseum, or IndyCar has going to some other venues, and kind of what's our field of dreams, what's our having a baseball game in Bristol Motor Speedway was wild. What are we going to do to kind of help grow that element of our sport? So, all right, I'm going to quit talking. I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to get on here. Everyone needs to sign up for Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. U.S. Nationals is going to be big for us, and it's also into the majors. So Katie Matera is making major trophies for us, and then more importantly, sign up now. Sign up between now and the U.S. Nationals. Play the U.S. Nationals. But then get signed up for the countdown, because the champ belts will reset. 6-race sprint for any Drag Race Bracket Bonanza people.
I need that.
This is your shot, Lee. This is your shot to get some hardware. So I expect you guys. Yeah. All right, get Buddy Hall in here. Get the celebrities in here. Get me out of here. All right, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Take care, Elon.
See you guys,
folks. We'll take a break with a word concerning Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And then we got Buddy Hole on, I think, for an insightful conversation.
Indeed.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Buddy Hold, certainly no stranger to the program. Good to have you on the Competition Plus Power Hour. And before you talk, unmute yourself. There you go.
I don't see a.
Hey, look.
I don't see it on your hand.
It's still swollen, but I took it off just to show off for the show. It's getting better. I'm like, I'm just going to show the whole entire world what it really looks like. So it's coming around. Holes are healed up, but it's still swollen. It's still funky. But I just wanted to show you guys I'm coming around, and it's going to get better, and I'm going to be back. It's just part of the unscheduled program of Nitro Funny Car Driving. And, it's something that I never want to go through and want any other funny car driver to go through. But unfortunately, it is just the risk we take in driving these 12,000 horsepower front engine, monsters is part of the program. And like I said, I'm healing up here. It's still swollen. It still hurts. But I wanted to show off a little bit. I took off my brace just for the show. So here we are.
Good deal. And we're glad that you're healing up. Let's bring everyone up to speed. I know they might have seen Bristol's incident. They certainly have seen Sonoma's incident and the carnage of parts and pieces and bodies and your own frame of your body. Take us into the cockpit of those situations, though, and what is going through your mind as a driver, and an update exactly on what the injuries were that were incurred with Sonoma's incident.
So I think that, first of all, I kind of said it a minute ago. I think it's important to know and understand that the cars that we drive are designed for us to be safe during accidents, right? They're designed that way. Is there risk in driving a 12,000 horsepower nitro burning 12,000 horsepower nitro funny car? Of course there is. But, I am living proof that SFI, guys like Murph McKinney and John Force, and, back then it was Ford, right? Ford put a lot of money forth to fund the Eric Medlin project to create a safer funny car. And then you got all the gear we wear, impact and crow safety belts and all these people that work towards making our cars safer. So that way, when we do have situations like I had, we walk away. And I know my hand's bummed out, and it's not so good. And I had to, but here's the deal, it could be a lot worse, and I had 3 majors this year, and that's just not normal for a driver. Um, I stay in good physical condition. I work out all the time. I stay fit. I'm a former competitive powerlifter, so I want to believe that my body's pretty durable, and I say that with all the humility I can say it. But yeah, just bumped. I got bumped and bruised around, and that's just what it is, and that's part of driving a nitro funny car. But I still believe in my team, and I still believe in what I'm doing. I'm not quitting. I'm not going nowhere. And the truth is, it doesn't matter if it's the first accident I had in Bristol or the last accident I had in Sonoma. My mind will always remain inside of that race car. Outside of my family, my business, that's the one thing I love the most. And so my mind, just remains in the cockpit of the race car. And I know my hand's a little goofy here, but when it heals up and it's strong again, I'll climb right back in. I'll have a heart rate of 65 to 70, and I'll do my job in the race car. And I can say one thing or a couple of things, but one thing I can say is I've learned a lot through this. I've learned that there's some safety measures that we need to take. I think that the tethers on the bodies are something that is necessary to protect our friends and our family / the racing fans in the stands. I do believe in protecting them, but I also believe in protecting the driver, the person that is sitting in the race car. I think is super important, and as important as the people in the stands. And so I think that there's some really smart people working behind the scenes, such as Tim Wilkerson, Murph McKinney, and a couple other crew chiefs that have put their 2 cents. John Dunn had put their 2 cents in to maybe hopefully discover a better way to tether these bodies and keep the driver safe along with the people in the stands, because no one can say after what I've been through that the tethers that the way the current configuration is definitely the way to go. It is not the way to go. I'll stand firm. I've been through it. I've lived it. No one can convince me otherwise. However, I do believe in still protecting the people in the stands. Don't misunderstand my message. My message is, there's a better way of tethering the bodies. There's a better way of keeping the driver safe. There's a great way of keeping the fans safe. And we just got to find that formula, if you will, and change our race cars, because at 320 miles an hour in my last accident, I had no access to the steering wheel, no access to the brake handle, no access to the fuel lever. I was trapped inside of there, and the firewall was laying in my lap, and I couldn't even physically see the steering wheel or see the brake, much less touch it and grab it and pull it to stop or steer. Somebody was steering that race car in Sonoma, and it wasn't me. Whether you believe in a higher power or not, that's up to you. But I do believe in one, and that car stayed straight. I have no idea. The thing blew up. I couldn't see anything. I hit the wall. I was sitting there waiting to hit the ping pong and hit the right wall because I was in the left lane. It never happened. The car just went straight. I have no idea how it happened. And God bless everybody. There was 3 guys sitting on the tailgate of a safety safari dually pickup truck, and they happened to pull out in front of me. Whatever. I think their intentions were really pure. They wanted to get to me as soon as possible. May have made a bit of a brash decision and try to pull out there early, and I just missed them. And everything worked out the way it worked out, and I walked away with just a bum hand. And I'm, with all the humility, I'm a tough guy. I'll figure it out. I'll work through it. I'll get my hand healed up, and we'll be back. And when we come back, I'll be more eager than ever, if you will. So I don't like taking time off, but sometimes time off makes you appreciate the thing you love the most. So yeah, that's it.
So I'm going to be straightforward, and I don't care how it sounds. Look, I remember when I was sitting in the stands that on the back of the ticket, it said that you were there at your own risk. And the risk of what we were watching is what it is. It's danger. You're at a drag race, head on a swivel. If you go to a no prep job or you go to NHRA on Friday night, it's the same thing. Car can go over the wall and into the stands.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, we've got 12,000 horsepower monsters that you guys are strapped in. And to be quite frank, I do want the fans to be safe, but the drivers come first. They're the ones in a bomb that's going over 330 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that not only when this thing does grenade, that they have the ability to take care of themselves in a race car.
Yeah.
So sure, that we need to protect the fans, but fans should also, you're there to watch a race. This isn't golf. This isn't tennis. This is drag race cars that can literally go over the wall. You should be paying attention. Second, there shouldn't be anybody past the 1,000-foot mark. There's nothing good happens at 1,320 feet anyway. If they're going at 341 miles an hour and something happens, well, guess what? If it grenades, that's shrapnel. You know where it's going? Over there, past the fences, in that area. No one needs to be there. That's the adjustments that need to be made, along with the tethering system, which I've been saying this for the last 2 years now. So you don't have to say it, but that's how I feel about it. No disrespect to the fans, but that's just the bottom line. We're not at – this ain't tiddlywinks. This is nitro funny cars and dragsters going down the racetrack. If your head's on a swivel at a regular racetrack, and if it's not, then you're putting yourself at danger, then it should be on a swivel, especially at a Mission Foods drag racing series race. Bottom line, point blank, period.
Yeah, I agree. To describe these race cars, in terms of their capabilities is undescribable until you drive one or you truly have a real grasp, maybe from a crew chief's perspective, on the type of machines that we're dealing with here. It's hard to explain what goes on, right? I mean, we're going from parked 0 miles an hour to 330 miles an hour plus in under 4 seconds, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. In that count, we go from 0 to 330, in some cases 340 miles an hour. And what it takes to do that is a whole lot of math, a whole lot of engineering, and some really smart people that have built some incredible race cars to keep us safe. And you're right. Moving the fans up closer in the stands, I think, is a great idea. You look at IndyCar, you look at NASCAR, they've put up nets. I think nets are a great idea. I think that in nitro funny car specifically, I think one thing I've learned is that a more robust hand shield, quote unquote hand shield, can become a body shield. I've taken a look at all the cars out there right now, and I want to say that Cruz Pedregon probably has the best hand shield, which he's made into a body shield. So that way, in a scenario similar like I had, I think he's the most protected out there right now. I really paid close attention to that. After you've been through what I've been through, you really start to look at look at things differently and look at other cars and try to decide, because it's important that we learn. They say in all professional sports, whether it's motorsports or any other type of sport, that rules are often written in blood. And what that means is accidents are what cause change in rules, and then also changes in safety. And one thing I'll tell you is that, I spent time in Brainerd, just paying really close attention to each driver's hand shield, if you will. And some are very small, some are medium size, and then you have a couple that are very large. And I mentioned Cruz Pedregon's. Also, Jim Head's shield is rather big. The John Forrest cars have a pretty robust hand shield / body shield, but I'll stand firm in saying that all of those in every single car need to be, they need to be very, very strong. Potentially all of them made of titanium, and carrying up as high as you could possibly have them carry up to allow the driver still to be able to see where they're going, but at the same exact time try to cover up their body from parts and the firewall and all the things. I mean, I literally had a firewall laying in my lap. The thing blew up. It came over the hand shield. It first landed on my hands, obviously, busted up my hands. My right hand is pretty much healed up now. Still a little swollen, but the left hand is the one that's the problem. There's multiple problems with that hand, but then I ripped my hands off the steering wheel, and the firewall went ahead and fell on my lap, and a more robust, stronger, more covering hand shield would have potentially prevented that from happening. So those are all the things that we're all looking at. We learn. We always learn, right? And I'm lucky to be able to be on this call tonight and be walking and talking, and had my son's first birthday dinner, which we really enjoyed. And by the way, we took him for what do you call it? Where they cook the food in front of you and they light the fires. What do you call it? Yeah. That's it. That's it. So we took him to hibachi, and he loved the hibachi and the fire. But anyway, I'm blessed to be here, and I'm gonna do my best to use my voice to get people to listen, and maybe help improve the sport in terms of safety after what I've been through. I've talked to Murph McKinney, I've talked to Tim Wilkerson, I've talked to the Duns, I've talked to multiple teams, I've talked to Matt Hagan. Matt Hagan feels very strong about making changes as well, but it's important to note that you got to make the right changes. You can't be hasty. You got to move quickly. You got to move efficiently, and the moves that you make in terms of safety got to be the right ones, because you never want to make something worse than what it already is. But I'm just really blessed to be here, and I think that most importantly, that we all learn from it. I think that's what we got to do. We got to learn from it. And I got to tell you something. It's interesting going 300, and I was going about 320 miles an hour with no access to a steering wheel, no access to a brake handle, and no parachutes. It was pretty interesting.
Did you know you were injured?
I had no clue. As a matter of fact, I got out of the car. I thought I was perfectly fine. Took my glove off. There was blood all over the place. I'm like, okay, whatever, little scratch or whatever. Kind of cleaned my hand off, and I thought I was perfectly fine. And then I realized that I had a full blown, hole in my hand, literally. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. That's all it's going to be. And then of course, the days following, is when the truth came out, where I woke up Tuesday morning and my hand looked like as if though I was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or the Pillsbury Doughboy. It was huge, to say the least. It was like 4 times the size of what it normally is. But, that's part of the program. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. I'm not soliciting my injury as an opportunity for anyone to feel a certain way about what I went through, because it's my choice to drive that Nitro Funny Car. I love Nitro Funny Cars. I love NHRA. I love NHRA fans. It is my passion outside of my family and my business. It is number one. And I'll do anything and everything to get healed back up and be back out there, and I want to win. Nope. I'll just tell you, I don't think that anybody wants to win more than me. My desire, my passion to win is there. It's just a matter of time. I believe that with all my heart. I believe that when you love something and you continue to work towards it, I think that it naturally will happen. The wins will naturally happen, and I'm not going to go anywhere. That's for sure. This hand will heal up. It'll be 100%. And I'll be able to hold on that steering wheel and wheel a car just like I always had in the past. And I can't wait. I'm more eager now than I've ever been.
Well, buddy, with Brainerd, you were not in the seat, but Jim Campbell was, and we oftentimes see through the Jim Dunn Racing season calendar different liveries on the car, and a major one on the hot rod there at Brainerd, Menards. Now, Menards has got a lot of deals with NHRA teams on the B2B side, but haven't seen a full Menards livery out there in the NHRA. So it was cool to see Menards on the side of a funny car, and with Jim Dunn Racing, the partnership with Menards, having them on the car, and going to one of the great hardware stores in all of the country, and certainly the one that dominates the Midwest. How was that?
Yeah, no, it's great. Menards, what a store, right? I mean, I grew up, in the Midwest, and I remember those commercials, right? Like, the Save Big Money Menards commercials, and the silly saying, the jingle, right? So, working with Menards is incredible. I mean, it's an incredible store. If you've never been to a Menards, you got to go. Like, you can get lost in that place. They got everything. They got everything from buildings to supplies to furniture and food and I don't know. They got everything. It's pretty cool. It's a great store. And what a cool looking hot rod. I mean, bright yellow, Menards on the side. It's a really cool deal. And we appreciate their support at Jim Dunn Racing. And yeah, we just want to do more with them. What a cool brand, right? Menards kicks butt. I mean, no matter no one goes in Menards and doesn't and walks out with nothing. It's impossible. Like that's one of those stores you go into, you're like, yeah, I just need one thing. And you walk out with 25 things, right? You're like, it's that kind of store. And that's one of the coolest parts about Menards. I just love the brand. It's cool.
Yeah. Never been.
Everyone is fascinated by the shopping cart escalator at the local Menards. Man, I got to tell you. So here's what you need to do. Whoever this is, Dave W. Here's the key, bro. You have got to find a way to ride it up. So in other words, don't be a sissy. Get in the cart. Have your wife put you on the cart escalator and ride up. Just get the experience out of the way. And if you don't feel safe, dude, wear your safety equipment. Call Impact. Get yourself a helmet. Get yourself a neck restraint, and just do it. Just go right up the cart escalator. Stop playing.
Good stuff.
Dave's like these nitro funny car drivers. So yeah. So I think that if there's one message I could send out there to everybody, if you're a fan of this sport, is just know that every single driver out there that drives a nitro funny car and a top fuel dragster is so passionate about what they do. And not only do we want to win, but we want to entertain you, but we want to be safe. And so just always keep that in mind as you're watching us and supporting us. And you support us in many ways, right? Supporting us by shopping at our sponsors' places, supporting by following us on social media. But just always remember, when you come by our pit area, talk to us all, right? We want to share the sport with you. We want to share our passion with you, and get an autograph, get the hero card, and bring your friends, right? I tell everybody, there's nothing like NHRA Drag Race. If you're watching this podcast and you have friends that have never been to an NHRA race, and you're selfish. You're being selfish. Stop doing that. Bring your friends, right? Bring your family members. Introduce them to NHRA drag racing, because I can tell you this. I've introduced thousands over the years, and never one time has anyone said, yeah, it's my first time, and yeah, it's my last time. They've all said, man, this shit is cool. We didn't know it existed. We had no idea that, two cars could go down the track and shake our entire body. They're like, this is nuts. You would never guess this on TV. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Get your friends to the track.
So,
Amen. I know.
Hallelujah.
After I heard about Menard sponsoring for Brainerd, I was like, well, I'm going to Menards, and I spent like $300 in buying a tool chest for my streaming kit. So I went to Menards.
But did you save big money?
Yes,
you saved big money at Menards.
that's right.
See, there you go. Yeah, see, look. Save big money at Menards. I got Harry Potter clock one time. You got a Harry Potter clock? They had dude. They got everything.
They got a Harry Potter clock.
You could buy a 2x4, a Harry Potter clock, and a root beer, all in the same place.
I need to find one of those. I haven't been too many places out west, so yeah, I need to find one of those. So
it's cool.
Bobby had a really, really good story on social media and fraud. I have heard of a lot of the ones that he had in there. Have you had anything of that nature happen to you?
Yeah, I have. I have in the past. Nothing currently. Fortunately, the pages have disappeared. There was a couple. It's a thing, but we shouldn't feel special. I'm just telling you, like, yeah, it's normal these days. I mean, is it a thing? Is it relevant in NHRA drag racing? Yes, of course it is, but we can't feel special. I mean, you take anybody that has any type of spot spotlight, if you will, in their life. And what you're going to find is there's duplicates out there of their profiles or whatever you want to call it, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, or it doesn't matter what it is. But it's unfortunate. There are people out there that should probably just go and get a job somewhere. They should probably find a different hobby or whatever it is that they do besides that, because what they don't realize is they're disturbing people's personal life. And but it's only for a short period. So, it actually disturbs their life more because they're more focused on it than the people that they're attempting to harm. You better believe that Clay Millican is getting somewhere between 8 to 12 hours of sleep a night worrying about people being, impostering him on the internet. And so is it Brittany Forrest, and so is the Erica Enders and all the others that go through it. Unfortunately, it's part of the scheduled and paid program these days. You can't ignore it. I think that's the wrong thing to do. You have to take action to get the pages removed, but at the same time, it really means nothing. And any fans out there they know the difference. 99% of all fans know the difference between talking to Brittany Force on Messenger or not. They know. So, yeah, it's a thing, but is it a thing though? Is it? Is it really?
It's not that hard. One, as a page,
I don't think
to
so.
block
Yeah.
those pages, and then two,
Yeah.
all of you watching, if you see that, just report.
Yeah.
And if everybody helps report, it helps everybody out.
It does, and there's also what I don't know, but I don't know a better way to say it. There's a lot of haters out there, right? That's just what it is. So there's a lot of people out there that look for information to try to harm others. Well, it doesn't work, right? In the end, everyone, how long do they remember this stuff? We live in a world of data. We live in a world of information. So say, some crazy information came out about the Monday morning racer threatening to switch to be the Tuesday afternoon racer. And then it doesn't happen. So how long does the Tuesday afternoon racer, rumor stick around? How long do they remember it? What do you think? 2 days? 3 days?
It's not that long.
Not even minutes, probably. No.
I am threatening right now to be the Tuesday afternoon racer. And you know what? I have a feeling no one's going to ever even remember I said this on this podcast. And that's my threat. I'm coming for the Monday morning racer. My name's Buddy Hull. I'm the Tuesday afternoon racer, and I'm coming for the Monday morning racer.
See, because you said it on the show,
No one's going to remember that.
No, it
no one
will be remembered. People still remember Amish guy from John Force. So don't worry, that was like 5 years ago. So
yeah. Hey, you know what though? Life's entertaining, right? I tell my wife all the time, life is entertaining, and you just got to take everything you do in life and make the best of it, and know that everyone's not wired the same way. And everyone knows I'm a general contractor, in real life, right? As a matter of fact, I'm at my job site right now. So I left my job site. I went to dinner with my son and my wife and my mother. We had an incredible birthday dinner. We caught the place on fire, burned the candles, did the volcano, did the choo-choo train, all that cool stuff, ate the steak, all of it. And then I came back to work. I work hard. And, it's life is all what you make of it. You know what I mean? It never stops. It never ends. And that's the beauty of it all. Make your mark on the planet, have fun while doing it. And don't take any of it that seriously, because there's no reason to. There's no reason to take it that serious outside of, being good at what you do and being a good father and a good husband and being loyal. Other than that, man, take life lightly, because there's always going to be problems. It's just part of the scheduled program. You know what I mean? What time is it? Is it 9 o'clock? I'm at work. I started work today at 7. It's just what it is. People don't know that sometimes, I think, what would you guys say? Maybe 70% of all NHRA professional race car drivers are business owners.
Yeah.
At least 70. I'd say at least.
Maybe 80 or 90.
Yeah.
And all of us work real hard. That's what we do. So I think it goes hand in hand. I think the same person that's really driven to build their business and work hard is the same person that drives a nitro funny car or a top fuel dragster or a pro stock car or a pro stock motorcycle or a top fuel motorcycle or a top fuel Harley or whatever it is. So I guess my point is just enjoy your life. Just do it your way. Don't listen to anybody. Do it your way.
Buddy, speaking of doing it your way, what is your way back to the car? What is the estimated time of return?
Okay, so I was showing off here. Obviously, you guys can see it's still swollen there, but showing off a little bit, trying to get it better, trying to stay away from it, or stay away from using it all the time. And I got this big old brace that I wear all the time, and I take it off 3 times a day or 3 to 4 times a day. I ice it, move it around a little bit, and then put it back in the brace. And so really don't know. I mean, it's interesting, but I had multiple injuries to one hand, not just a puncture wound, but a couple fractures and some it caused some nerve issues over there. And that's just part of the deal when you go through what I've been through. But I'm working on it every day per se. I'm like, you can heal naturally, but I'm also doing all the other things possible to try to speed up the process. I don't know. I don't know because I'm not a doctor, and I've been specifically told by my doctor, don't set a timeline, don't announce a timeline, because what can happen is you could get out of bed tomorrow and your thumb could start functioning perfectly, or it could take a month or 2 weeks or 2 days. He just keeps saying it. You don't know because you can't predict the functionality of nerves. But one thing I do know is that there'll be a time where I feel like my hand would be good enough for me to make a single run because there's no one next to me. And then in that same breath, I will tell you that I would never, ever, ever, ever climb in a race car without knowing I had 100% control of the steering wheel because of my competitor, right? So I don't ever want to be that selfish guy that says, I'm good enough to get in there. I'll make it work. It'll be okay. But I'm not at 100%, because if I'm not at 100%, I'm putting the guy that I'm running against at risk. And that's super selfish. And I'm just not that way. In the other breath, I'll be super selfish and making sure I get it better as soon as possible. And, going into therapy as soon as the swelling is completely down, and doing extra stuff outside of that, and icing it the 3, 4, 5 times a day that I've been doing, and all those things. So I really don't know. I mean, I wish I had a better answer. I'd rather give the world a better answer, but the truth is I don't have one.
No, that's a great answer. That's really the right answer.
I'm trying,
whatever time it takes to be right to step back in the car.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm ready now psychologically, right? I ain't scared of the thing, Everyone, all my friends and my family and people that work for me, like, you're nuts. I'm like, well, a little bit, because a little, not all the way, but it's a controlled, nuts, if you will. I won't let that race car beat me. I'm not going to ever let anything beat me that I don't want to beat me. And it's that's a bad example for those young men and women out there that are coming up through the ranks to quit, or, drag your feet over a little banged up hand. You got to show them that you get through things, you heal, you come back, and you're better than you were before you left. I mean, that's what you do, right? I know I met a young man in the pit area in Brainerd on Friday, and he's currently renting a car from a person that we share a mutual sponsor with, and he brought him over to my pit area. Really good kid, and I was so impressed by him. I was just so impressed by his words and his desire and his passion. And the truth is, I can't forget that he's watching people like me. He's watching Ron Capps. He's watching Matt Hagan. He's watching J.R. Todd. He's watching all of us saying, or thinking to himself, those are the guys that I look to, and I aim to be like and be inspired by. So as a professional race car driver, I do my best to take that in mind as I move forward in my career, as being a good role model for the kids, because, hey, we need kids. I'm 45 years old, and I'm one of the younger guys out there, and I'm not young. I'm not old by any means, but I'm definitely not young. And so looking at that and knowing and understanding that, part of my interest in drag racing is not just my own son, bringing him up through the ranks and and getting him to, where he wants to be in drag racing. He may not want to drag race. He don't have to if he don't want to, but inspiring those who want to drag race to move up. I spent probably 15, 20 minutes with with this young man in our pit area and explaining to him, or better yet, making suggestions what I would do if I were him in his position and his age and his point in his career and the time that he's in. And I did my best to give him some great advice. I gave him the same advice I give my own son. I don't hold anything back. I got no secrets, and gave him all that information. And hopefully he runs with it. And as a matter of fact, that kid texted me today, and he thanked me for that time. And that's what it's all about, right? You gotta spread the love. Exactly what's that? Exactly, drag racing needs youth and fan base in the driver's seat. Yes, sir, they do. I hopefully give up my seat someday. I don't want to be a 90-year-old driver, maybe 60, but I already got it figured out, right? I'm like, okay, when my kid's 16, how old am I going to be? Maybe he'll want to drive, maybe he won't, but the opportunity will be there. I'll make sure of it.
For sure.
Well, buddy, look, thank you for your time. Appreciate the update and looking forward to you being back in the hot rod soon enough, but yet glad to hear you're going to take the time that's necessary to get back in and it be right. Anything else before we let you go?
Man, just thanks to my sponsors, you guys are so supportive and kicking in, and, the Jim Dunn Racing team, they're supportive of me. I got to hang out with them last weekend, and, I'm very thankful guy. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I feel that, sometimes things happen in your life, and sometimes you're like, it's not my turn yet. You know what I mean? Like, I went through some pretty big things, and I feel like that it's not my turn, and there's got to be more, more coming for me, and everybody has a purpose on this planet, and I think I know what mine is, and I'm just thankful for it. I'm thankful for the support of all of our sponsors, all the fans, my family, my wife, my son. By now, most wives would be like, honey, are you done yet? Not my wife. Hell no. She's like, let's get that hand going. Let's get you back up. Yeah. She grew up in a drag racing family. And so the support I have, I'm sure if my son could talk, he'd say, come on, Dad, let's go. And, I'm thankful for that. I don't ever forget where I came from. A lot of people helped me along the way. Those people, I don't mention them often enough, and I'm super thankful for those people. They know who they are. I just, that sometimes I just drive my truck down the street and I think to myself, or down the highway, and I think to myself, if it weren't for these people, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I know that, right? I've never forgotten how I got where I got. Some people will often do that, or better yet, maybe ignore where they came from. And so I'm super thankful for all those crew guys that helped me over the years, my family, my sponsors, my wife, my current team, my people I've drove for in the past, people that have given me advice, whether it was good or bad. I take it all in, and I'm just ready to be healed up and, go back to nitro funny car driving. That's all. I'm thankful. I love everybody. Whether you love me or not, I don't really care. I love you.
Spectacular. Thank you, buddy, and thank you for this perspective. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be in touch, brother.
Sounds good.
That, folks, Buddy Hull. We look forward to seeing him back in the seat. He's been through some wild moments, and I appreciate his insight on what he went through. And I think that was eye-opening. I haven't read it anywhere else. I really haven't heard it discussed. Maybe he was able to discuss it in the booth or something of that nature this past weekend, with some time with Jason Galvin on the in the booth with the NHRA announcer corps. But him expressing that, well, he had no way to have any control. He couldn't shut the fuel off. He couldn't drive it. And his hands were not able to access any of those elements. I think people might misunderstand too. The firewall on a funny car, it's not like a firewall in your car. It's a little different. Yes, it is a firewall, but with the way the bodies are designed and how much force is behind those engines when they explode, you really do need that protector, that shield, as the nitro funny car drivers, many of them have. I'm surprised alcohol funny car does not have them. I know alcohol funny car doesn't go necessarily through the same type of explosions, but you just, again, never know what might can happen. And racers are bad about, oh, that's not going to happen, and stuff then happening. And I can't help but wonder if in a 3-rail funny car, if the hands sit below that top rail instead of exposed like they are, and yet the industry went away from a 3-rail funny car because of 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
It is.
Interesting.
It is.
I'll say the same thing I say about the NFL and others. It's like the players will continue to talk and continue. They're the ones that have to go through it, whether it's drivers, crew chiefs, whatever. And it's like the ears are deaf because they've been saying this for a while now. I mean,
wow, it's been several
years. Matt Hagan's been beating this drum before. I mean, it happened to him, and yet we continue to go right down the same path that we've been going on. Like nobody said anything. And, I haven't been shy about saying it. I've been saying it for some time now. And it's like, what do we got to do? What are we going to do? What do we got to do? Because you know what? Be real. He could have not been here. I mean, literally it doesn't take much. I mean, if you guys were watching, you knew daggone well that his hands couldn't get to anything. There was no way. The way that body collapsed and caved in on him like that. So, like, what do we got to do? I mean, we're still talking. We're still in the early stages of talking about this, and yet this ain't the first time this has happened. I mean, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing?
Well, the talks have been happening for a very long time. It's an issue with, you have people who are talking about it. You have people who have better ideas. You have people who are willing to implement things. And yet it seems like those individuals who I think already have solutions, they are not able to present anything in an advantageous avenue.
Well, that's a problem.
And I think we also are in a situation where you probably have a group of people making decisions that are not that closely connected to, well, in particular, the funny car. You've got some good people. If you read, Bobby Bennett's article on the tethers, you've got some of the top people in funny car working on this issue. And they've had thoughts on this issue for a long time.
Yeah.
And the people that need to admit that there needs to be a change made is, at this point, whoever with the NHRA. And I don't know whoever it is, but they need to admit that. I want the fans to be safe. Do not misunderstand me. But I think there is a middle ground on this where fans can be safe as possible at a drag race, because there's never no threat, because an injector off a top fuel dragster can be blown to smithereens and people can be hit and struck by that, which has happened more often than funny car bodies here recently. But yet we're not doing anything tether-wise with the injector hat itself. Okay?
Yeah.
So,
like I said,
let's figure something out with the funny car bodies.
Yeah.
That is a middle ground.
Yeah. I just don't. My thing is it's 340 or somebody sitting in the stands that eyes should be on the product. So if I'm watching a product, I darn sure can see if something happens. And like I said before, How about NHRA be proactive and stop having people standing where they shouldn't be standing at the most dangerous part of the racetrack? How about we delete that? I mean, there's things that can be done, but there's no reason why a race car driver should be in danger because of your piss poor safety that isn't working. It's hindering, not helping.
I personally believe that the drag strip design that we currently have, when you consider now cars capable of 340 plus miles per hour in 1,000 feet, that it's outdated concerning safety. I think there should be some radical changes that if we were able to build a state-of-the-art drag strip, it would look wildly different while still allowing the same product on track. I do think tracks certainly need to look into, I don't want to say a catch fence. A catch fence is different within the nomenclature of motorsports of what it is built out of. We don't really, I think, at this point, need a catch fence to keep the cars on or within the racing surface, such as in stock car racing.
Right.
What I think is needed is a mesh netting that is still wants something that you can see through, but will act as a net to catch shrapnel. The people who have been injured at drag races have been injured by shrapnel. Figure that out. And when I talk about netting, I'm thinking of something that like catches golf balls at, Top Golf.
Yeah.
Or as Nicole mentions here, like catching pucks and make it out of a material, whether it's Kevlar or something, and bring in mobile cranes for that weekend and hoist it up. Figure it out. Okay. Or maybe you need a wall. Like if you've ever noticed Z-Max, there's a reason there's that wall on the pit side after, about 1,000 feet. There's a reason. Okay. And Dave W., I disagree. I don't think you'd hardly notice there was a net there at all. You can make sure it's black, and you have that trick of when something's black like that, you can see through it, and it hardly doesn't even impact your eyes like a screen or the netting at a driving range. So it's not impossible. And also, don't sit in that seating, or don't show up to that race. That's your prerogative as a fan. If there's something there for your safety that you don't want and you don't like, don't show up to that race. So be it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have people beyond, I think at this point with these cars in particular, beyond the 8th mile, something seriously needs to be considered to catch shrapnel. And then also, I think this goes further into other areas of drag racing. The small tower radial world. You all need to put vents in your hoods and stop glorifying cars taking flight. Because they can take flight so much and then go off track, over the track, and certainly be near to land into a camping area at a racetrack. So I think we need to be a bit more strategic where people park. And if we're going to park people that close in camping, let's take St. Louis, for example. We need to seriously think about what's going to stop these cars.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, and Drag Race Mayhem said the same thing. It's just anywhere between 1,000 and 1,320, there just shouldn't be. You don't need crowd standing there. Because honestly, that's where most of the bad stuff happens. I mean, look at Sean Reed's incident. It didn't happen at half track. It didn't happen at 8th mile. It carried 1,000 foot and beyond. So just stop having people stand down there. And especially right now, I mean, you're rarely going to get a car at half track grenade a body and it go over in the stands. Very rarely. And at this point, we haven't seen that in quite some time. And I don't even think the body when Robert's Height's body went into the stands. I'm not sure that was. I'm not sure if that was half track or eighth mile. I'm not sure. But
it was beyond. It was a bit beyond.
Okay, so see, you're pretty good until you get to where they're really starting to apply clutch. They're really starting to apply, horsepower, and that's when things happen. You're applying fuel. That's when things happen. And I think in that area where those negative things happen is where we just need to not have people stand next to the fence, and maybe you have to redesign stands to where they're further back.
I completely agree. I think, for example, a good distance, the Texas Motorplex has stands almost right at the scoreboard. But every time I've been in those stands, I feel like, okay, these are far enough away to enjoy this experience of the cars coming at you at this rate of speed. Yet, if something happens, I'm far enough away.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's just that it's sad that it takes. We've seen this over and over again. It's not we don't have idiots that are amongst the drag racing community. There are very smart people that understand these things and they're not just griping and complaining. They have solutions. So to me, most of the time, those that are in charge of the establishment don't really understand fully, like the players on the field, the drivers in the race car. So how about we start listening to them? Because at the end of the day, it's their lives at stake. They're the ones that, because of your stupidity and your laziness, are the ones that won't go home. Yet you will.
And I understand anyone that says, well, drivers assume the risk. Yes, they do. But that doesn't mean that you can't decrease risk by changing something. And again, I think Buddy's incident is eye-opening.
It is.
He had no control.
But you think John's incident would have been eye-opening?
You think so?
Because let's not act like that didn't have something to do with it.
It did. It certainly did.
You think that'd be eye-opening. So what do we got to do? What has to happen here? That's my whole thing. I have a huge problem with people who are not involved in the mess, just haphazardly continuing to move forward as if there is no problem. And yet people are – the talk is loud. It's not like this is minuscule and it's barely any sound. It's loud. And yet the people who are supposed to be listening and pushing this forward, accelerating this process, seem to be deaf. That's a problem.
You think there would have been, and from what I understand, there was not a serious, hard look after John's incident. And not just, let's increase padding.
Yeah, that ain't enough. That ain't enough. We've seen too many drivers blow the top and can't see. So now you're putting them at risk. You also putting the competitor at risk too. So now we're going to lose one car, we're going to lose two. And
right. Again, Buddy's point,
can't afford to lose it.
Buddy's point is great. He's like, I don't know how it went straight. I'm glad it did go straight, but I had no control.
Yeah. And at 300, still rolling at about 300, that ain't good. That's not good at all. It's not good for anybody.
Right. Long for the ride.
So I don't know. You want a death on your hands. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say about that. Do you want that? You want that on your hands? I don't think so. So, the process should be well farther along than it has been. And you quick to make dumb decisions and make changes to rules in the middle of a season for no apparent reason or what you think is a reason, but we can't make safety changes in the middle of the season quickly. Come on, man.
Right. We can make parity adjustments, right before a race, apparently. Yeah. But safety changes,
come on,
apparently man. Not. I mean, look, There has to be a middle ground on this. There has to be. And I get it. If they make a change, we're waiting till the next blow up to see if it has really helped or not. But let's make the change and let's go through that, because even if we do slow them down to the 310, 320 range or back to 300, eventually someone's going to blow something to smithereens. They've been doing that since they ever started running nitromethane. It's just going to happen eventually. Nonetheless, let's make a change and see if it's for the better. You got some good people on it right now. Like Buddy mentioned, like in the Competition Plus article, you got Tim Wilkerson, you got Murph McKinney, Guido, others have said, look, this is what we think we can do that will be a better option. And every one of those options that I can recall didn't mention anything about getting rid of the tethers.
Right.
So not making an issue for fans, apparently, but instead, let's make this tether idea better. Still for the fans, and much more so for the drivers.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a sad situation. So hopefully this thing gets solved and gets moved on. We've got some really cool stuff coming down the pipe for Competition Plus. I know on the socials they'll be having the tour of the tower will be there. So you might want to lock into Competition Plus socials for that. And I find that article, it wasn't enlightening to me, because I think like myself, you also hear and have heard the rumblings of these types of things going on. What really blows my mind though is that I don't believe, to me, it's not that hard. Like, I mean, if it's too good to be true, then it's not true. Like, I mean, and these ladies and gentlemen have continued to put where you can find them at repeatedly. And the fact that people keep getting okey doked, whether it's money, whether it's, I mean, we're talking about phony relationships. Like, what are we? There's no reason why someone should show up to the race and think that is even a possibility. Like, what planet are we on, man? Like, get duped that easily? I mean, fraud is like prevalent, and it's like the same people continue to get got for no reason at all when it's obvious and you've been warned several times. Erica Enders, for that matter, I can't even count how many times that's been put out there. Courtney, that's been put out there. I mean, you know how many Courtney Enders and Erica Enders requests I continue to get? Like, I mean, I don't understand it, but it is yes, it's a thing, and it's something that, it's kind of part of the society, I guess. But where it gets creepy is when people show up to the racetrack and do weird stuff. Because that right there, not only is it's a line crossed, but it's also, we're talking about security. And yes, us males can probably handle a few things, but when we talk about our ladies, it's already tough enough out here as it is when it comes down to safety and how they are viewed and how people view them and the trying to take advantage of and whatever the case may be. And then you have this element and you're at the racetrack and you're trying to interact with your fans, but yet you've got weirdos. That creates an uneasy, that creates an uneasy, and I'm sure for some, a little bit of fear of what you're going to encounter at the ropes. It is wild, the world that we live in, and the fact that that's not a comprehension of people. Like I don't know. Maybe I think too logical and I have too much common sense, but
it is fascinating all around. Whether it is, fandom can be weird. How locked in people can be concerning, in a sense, positively and also negatively. It's just fascinating how strange it can become at times. And then, yeah, we live in a day and time where people are, for whatever reason, I don't understand how you. I don't understand the whole Brittany Force Facebook page thing. So strange. There's so many different ones of them.
she's never
They all
had
have
one,
they have grainy photos,
right?
and it has been announced so many times that Brittany Force does not have a Facebook page. For her, it all falls under the John Force Racing Facebook page. But I have blocked so many from Monday Morning Racer.
You and me both.
And I know someone earlier in the comments section said that pages sometimes don't do a good job of deleting or blocking. Now, you are absolutely correct. There are some pages that do not do a good job. But I can tell you my experience with the pages that I manage, and in particular Monday Morning Racer, that there are times where you don't see every single notification.
Yep.
And I actually have had people do this, and they will say, hey, go away, spammer, and at me. And then that notifies me, oh, okay, I haven't seen this. Here's an issue. And I can go block them, and that will delete the comments. So if it looks like a page has not done anything, just give a, hey, page, whatever page it is, we got a spammer. And they might be able to notice it and see it, and they can deal with it. Because I can tell you, like right now, managing 5 pages, I have a ton of notifications, and I do miss notifications. So I don't think any page would deny the help or not appreciate the help of pointing them out. Sometimes, hey, I see it, boom, I do it real quick, boom, they're blocked, they're gone, and done with. But you don't see each and every one of them. So just say, hey, page, we got a spammer.
Yep, that would help, especially when you're like us doing different things. You're managing pages, you're working, you're booking shows. It's tough. It's tough to keep up with everything on social media. So that definitely would help. But yeah, I just I worry about it for everybody, but I worry. It concerns me for the ladies, especially when so many of them want to be there for their fans and love the interaction, but there's always got to be somebody, some weirdo, and I like I said, from the beginning, whether you're a racer or not, women out here have it very tough in that department, and I definitely can empathize with that because we're married, how that is. We put somebody in the dirt for that. So I feel for ladies trying to whether do things professionally, whether you're trying to chase a dream, whatever it is. It's always some weirdo or weirdos out there, and definitely got to do what we can to make sure that their safety is first and foremost.
Right. It's there's some strange people out there, and sadly, situations that look, we have spectacular fan access in drag racing, and that should never change. But yet, if there's an issue, maybe the lady or ladies, they need someone right there at the ropes. along with them. Why not? I'm not opposed to that for their protection and safety, and it can happen to guys too. Don't misunderstand.
Right.
Strange things can happen, and there are certainly some weird people out there. And also to have someone actually be negative to their face, that's bold.
That really is.
That's bold. Like, I've never had anybody come. Look, there's a lot of people who've been negative towards me online and said, nasty, derogatory, hateful things. God bless them. But I've never had them come to the track and say anything, directly. So, wow, that's bold to do anything negative, at the track. Interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So, strange times.
It really is.
Everybody, just be cool. Okay, just be cool.
Andrew's comment. I mean, how about that? I mean, there were a lot of road incidences this past weekend, with haulers on the highway. And I mean,
tons,
very close calls that fortunately everyone is okay type of stuff. It was pretty bad.
Yes, there were so many. I know the Neals with Funny Car Chaos, they had an incident, and Jeff Lutz had an incident. Apparently, I heard, and I don't want to just spread rumor, but I heard a driver ran them off the road type of situation. I also heard that being impaired was a part of that, but fiery crash type of scenario, and they were okay. And there was another incident. I think it was a bracket racer car came. The car clearly came through the trailer after the incident, but there were several of those this past weekend, and I saw some beyond even the drag racing world. And look, I don't know if they're a sponsor or not, but to everyone out there, look at Larice Motorsports Insurance if you have a racing operation, or find an insurance that will cover. You never know what is going to happen. And look, you might not be covered on the track, but you have a whole lot more miles underneath you, track to track, than on the track. So figure it out and have insurance cover. Always check your gear. There's a lot of weight on metallic parts. Check your gear. Go through your rig and check those lug nuts and make sure those hubs are greased, and make sure. I know it might that checklist might get long and it might be boring, and you feel like you might not should. Why do it? But man, it will save you time, money, and possibly your life on the road.
Yeah, most definitely. Poor Disco Dean too. Seeing that car hurt my heart.
From what I saw, that was a big lick too. He
gnarly.
Took a hit, and certainly tough to see him have that incident. And that car is a loss. I'm sure he will regroup, rebuild. We'll see him back out. But look, he was in that interview, IHRA, the weekend before, talking about Pez's incident. That car, Pez's incident there at Milan. He's like, look, we're out here to race, and we got our throttle in it, and we want to win. And well, he had the foot in the throttle, and he wanted to win.
Yeah.
And stuff happens. It fascinates me. People will keyboard drive, and it's like, you're not in the car, and things are happening so quickly. You just never know what might happen and when it might happen.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, it's racing, man. And most of the time when that stuff happens, you've got your foot in it. And it happens so fast that you can't react quick enough to stop what's happening.
No.
You can only try to soften what's going to happen. You can't react quick enough to save it. It's just
it's hard enough to react quick enough at 35 miles per hour.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yep. What a great stuff. Hey, shooting at the track?
Yes. So there was a track shooting apparently in Mississippi. That did take place, and there was, from what I can remember, hearing reports, fatality. And let me just say, you think it might not happen at a track, but it can happen anywhere. If it can happen in a school, it can happen anywhere. If it can happen in a church, it can happen anywhere. If it can happen in your workplace, it can happen anywhere. No place is void to tragedy. So always keep your head on a swivel, always be mindful and be aware.
Yeah.
On that. And then, yes, the penalizing bracket racers for race manipulation, that did take place. A ruling came down from a WDRA track. Someone apparently taking a dive, throwing a race, and they looked at the data, they looked at the situation, and they felt that it was a form of manipulation, therefore cheating.
Wow. That's strong, actually.
It is.
Yeah, that's very strong. I would never think that I mean, we've seen some obvious dives, but I wouldn't think that you wouldn't think there would be an action taken or even really kind of noticed for that matter. But that's strong right there. Really makes other people think about doing that for whatever reason that they're doing that for.
Don't manipulate a race.
Yeah. Wow. Good for them, though. Good for them.
Or if you are, learn how to hide it like John Force.
Exactly. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Man, good stuff, though. Hey, Tennessee, good job. Good job.
Well, I know we mentioned the U.S. Nationals already on this show, but that's not this weekend. This weekend, There is drag racing taking place. I know that the Southeast Gassers Association, they will be at Jackson Dragway in Jackson, Tennessee for the first time ever. That is going to be a big show. It's action Friday night and then racing action Saturday there in Jackson, Tennessee. That's basically in between Memphis and Nashville, a bit closer to Memphis. But if you want to see some Southeast Gassers Association action, that is one of the tracks furthest west that they go to. Furthest west is Gulfport, Mississippi, but Jackson is out there as well. So if you are west and kind of Midwest, kind of Kentucky, Arkansas, West Tennessee, obviously, North Mississippi, you got a good opportunity to see some Southeast Gassers Association drag racing action. The PDRA is also in Tennessee. On the other side of the state, they're in Bristol, Tennessee at Bristol Dragway. So they will be in competition at Thunder Valley, one of the many, but the big one, if you will, Thunder Valley, and they're at Bristol Dragway. They're going to be in competition, and plenty of other drag racing that's taking place as well. That's just two of the events that bringing up. So there's, I believe Bowling Green. I believe Bowling Green will be in action this weekend as well. Typically, Bowling Green is in action with NHRA divisional and regional racing before the U.S. National, so they will be in action. And look, get to your local drag strip. There is much more going on and taking place. Go out there and enjoy it. And by the way, the U.S. Nationals is not the only drag race that takes place on that weekend. I'll be at Funny Car Chaos at Mocan Dragway again that weekend. So there is other drag races to catch beyond the U.S. Nationals.
Yeah, it's always something going on right now. I'm looking forward to the weekend after, too, because IHRA is back. And,
Columbus. No, I can't. Nope. Can't say Columbus. Nope. Can't say Columbus.
It's Durana.
It's Durana Raceway.
Yeah.
Durana Raceway. But you still can't say Columbus because it's not in Columbus. Okay, right. That's right. It's outside of Columbus. But like nobody beyond Ohio knows Hebron.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah, I did.
Hebron. See, I don't even know which way to say it. Hebron or Hebron.
guess it depends on.
Oh, and by the way, it was never National Trails.
It's National Trail Raceway.
Right. So I found it funny when the person that wanted to correct me about it's not Columbus said National Trails, and I just thought that was funny.
Yeah,
very funny.
Negative.
Yeah. I just, so
Blakey's got a question. He says, how long do you think it takes Tony to win a race? I think it at least take him until St. Louis. What do you think?
I don't think he wins a race this year at all. I think they'll be competitive, but I don't think they will win.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wins either. I do like. The issue is, it'd be a different story if that car that he has, Rob Flynn working on along with the crew was the same car they were working on with Jasmine. It's not.
Sure.
It's a different beast.
So it's different. It's different. Now, look, I think that crew certainly has the capability of figuring it out. I think they have the capability to win with the crew assembled and obviously the driver. I just don't expect it.
I think they'll make a few semis, though. I think they'll make a few semi appearances. They're gonna ruin somebody's countdown.
Yes. They are. They're gonna ruin somebody's countdown. They're going to ruin somebody's countdown. And probably at this point, it's going to be Justin Ashley's. Justin Ashley, again, he cuts one of the best lights of the day, and it's the car not there.
Yep.
And I know it's not countdown championship time, but he, again, did his job, and someone comes around him.
Yep.
And you could argue that Justin could already be a 3-time champion.
Oh, definitely.
But here we are again, and going in towards the countdown. I know he's going to be in it, but I can't pick him for the championship.
Nah. But it's the same reason. It's the same reason that with all that team, that Monster Energy drink team is doing, I can't pick them either.
Right. It is. I feel like we're talking about the John Force Racing Top Fuel team that was, like 4 years ago, possibly, where just record after record after record, but there was not the round by round results at all.
Yeah.
And maybe we see a change, possibly, going into the countdown, but I can't go with that team at this moment, even though you've got the record performances in mainly qualifying, but we see them occasionally in elimination. But you just can't. The people that look hot right now, it's definitely the Doug Colettas. It's the Sean Langdons. The Team Coletta looks really strong going into the countdown.
They do. So Tony's in second, but do you feel like if we don't see at least a semifinal round appearance from Tony Stewart, that they're kind of backing into the playoffs?
Wow, they performed well early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder if maybe they did some throttling, try to figure some new things out, do some in-season testing. You have to wonder, because here recently there just kind of hasn't been the performance of what we saw earlier in the year. But for Tony to remain where he is, we also haven't seen the performance really from any of his other competitors.
No, they have been very inconsistent.
Yes. So the
whole top five has been inconsistent.
I don't think
has been consistent.
To answer your question, I don't think they're backing in. They're second, but they are going in without the momentum I think they want.
Right. That's what I'm looking at. Not so much the portfolio, but when you start really analyzing things, the performance that they had earlier isn't there coming into the most critical time of the season. Same thing with Antron. Antron started out great. Antron reminds me of Paul Lee. like came out gangbusters, looked pretty strong, and then it's been like crickets ever since. And you see flashes in the pan, but not better. He hasn't been better than the top 5 above him. That's been the problem.
So McLeod 917, I think, puts it well, and it's something they talked about on the NHRA Insider podcast, is like, who out there has found their combination and they're like, hey, we're going to put these clutch discs back. We're going to put this blower back. We're going to, our good blower, we're going to save it till later on. That type of thing. Is that happening? How often does it happen? And I have to agree, Drag Racing Mayhem, I mean, it seems like the regular season's become this test, this test throughout the season. And sadly, if you're a car that's a hot weather tune-up, you don't get to make up your points to the extent of like carrying, like hedging your points through the hot point of the season, then hanging on towards the end, because the countdown resets things and you go in. And yes, there can certainly be warm weather, whether that's, Labor Day at the U.S. Nationals and a bit beyond, but we're going to be going into a time frame in which conditions oftentimes are optimal at these tracks. And if you've got that hot weather car, you're looking for something.
Yeah, definitely. That is a very good point with that. It's I just find it, you're 45 points back. I mean, if you're Tony Stewart, testing, this ain't time to test when you got money on the line. So,
well, I mean, you would think, but at the same time, maybe they're like, hey, we got good marketing partners and we're more concerned about this, about a championship. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
That very well could be. I mean, if you're Antron, that makes sense. If you're Antron, if you're Brittany, you're Clay, anybody 5 and below, I can understand, because I mean, Brittany's 227. There's no chance in hell.
Right.
Even if they sit out, I don't know if she can make it to the top, even if she wins the thing and they don't go any rounds.
Right.
So
look, I'm glad we've got more money for the regular season champ. I'm glad that is there. But next year, are they going to really introduce, like during driver introductions, and now the regular season champion, and they come? No.
I would hope so, if that's what you want to do. I mean,
they're not going to do it, though. There'd be so much confusion to regular season champion and world champion. Who was the number 1 seed last year in Top Fuel?
Let me see. I can go back.
See, you got to go see.
Yeah, that's true.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Justin Ashley.
I think it was.
Or either that was the year before.
I think you're right about that. Let me see. Yeah, I think you are right about that. I think it was Justin Ashley.
Who was number 1 seed in? Well, that's too easy. Funny car. I mean, it was Proc. Proc's been absolutely dominating.
Yeah. Oh, he's.
Who was number 1 seed in Pro Stock? Do you remember that?
It was Erica.
It was Hartford.
It was Matt. Man. See, I wouldn't have known that
if I remember correctly. But see, that's just it. We can't remember.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Just like, well, no, maybe. Diehards would know who their division champions were in football.
Right, diehards.
Yeah, for the most part.
But outside of your division, you're probably not going to remember who the division champions were.
Right.
I just know the Dallas Cowboys weren't.
Yeah.
It was the Eagles.
It was.
But beyond that, I don't think I can recall who won what division. I think the Vikings won the division. Isn't that correct?
I thought that was the Lions. They had the first round bye.
Yes. See, see, there you go. There you go. Heck, I have a hard enough time remembering who wins the Super Bowl, doggone it.
Yeah. Well, the Eagles fans won't let you forget it. So until they don't win one. even when they don't win one, they're still going to let you know they won the Super Bowl last year. So
Right.
Still got one more before you catch Washington. So.
Yes, Drag Racing Mayhem. I am a Cowboys fan, but I'm a realistic Cowboys fan. And I realize until Jerry dies that we will not win a Super Bowl, that there is no hope.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The reality.
That is reality.
That's a reality that many Cowboy fans cannot come to grips with.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, alcohol can ruin your hopes as a fan.
Really can.
If you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Oh, man. I don't know. It's U.S. Nationals is going to be interesting, though, but yeah.
Dude, you know, let's be real about something. I don't have anything against the countdown, playoffs, whatever. We are an elimination sport. I don't got any problem with it, really. But we also didn't need it.
No, I don't think you
look,
needed it.
I'm involved with 2 series right now. 3 series, actually. In Nitro Chaos, Funny Car Chaos, and Southeast Gases Association. They do not have any gimmicky point system. Unless you want to include as a gimmick the drop scenario within Funny Car Chaos. Tight point battles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the one thing about this that could be these top storylines going into the U.S. Nationals. You mentioned backing in to the countdown. Some are being carried into the countdown, and they are nice. dead on arrival, being carried in.
You got that right. It ruins.
How gimmicky can you get? I mean, at least with NASCAR, you earned your way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
I don't care if you did just win road courses. You still had to win.
Yep. And how big? Okay, so this, looking at Funny Car right out the gate, from Chad Green and Cruz, Bob Tasca 10th, Alexis Zoria 9th, and Spencer Hyde 8th with 620. You could probably even throw Dan Wilkerson in there too at 664. With the points and a half, Cruz could jump all the way to 7 if Dan can go out first round. And he could go to distance. But he's at least going to make it to 9th or possibly 8th with points and a half. If he out-qualifies Spencer, goes further than Spencer, and Spencer goes out first round, and he can at least make it to the semifinals, he might be able to get to 8th. But you're killing all of that. How big of a story would it be in pro stock, the fact that the 6-pack champ is 12th at 377 and needs all of it if she wanted to get to Derek Kramer at 447?
We talked about this weeks ago. Like, what would the storylines be like? 6-time champion going into the U.S. Nationals and looking in from the outside.
Troy is 13th. Could you imagine? He's at 370. He could legitimately probably get in, maybe. But those two might be fighting for the bottom spot. Cody Coughlin continues to go rounds and find points. So really, they will be fighting for 9th or 10th, possibly. They both could be only fighting for one spot, along with Mason McGahey fighting for one spot in 10th. But yet, we lose all that.
I find it funny. Right now, we're at the time of the season where you've got that yellow Wally next to those who have clinched a countdown berth. And you began with Funny Car. And with Funny Car, right now, it's Austin Prock, Jack Bolton, and Matt Hagan that have clinched that berth. I'm like, well, just go ahead and give it to Ron Capps as well. Go ahead,
They might
and
give it to
Paul
all of them.
Lee. Go ahead and give it to Taylor. Go ahead and give it to everybody that you expect is going to make every qualifying run and be there for every race.
All the way down to Buddy Hole.
Just go ahead and give it to them all.
14 cars.
Just
14 cars.
I mean, they clinched too.
And if Braden Davis were to rent the bike for the U.S. Nationals, he could get into 9th place. He could get into 10th place. He is 203. Mark Ingerson is 237. He could bump his way into the top 10. That's a story. And he didn't even race all the races at all. He can show up to the U.S. Nationals and be in the countdown. But that particular class does not have any that will get that participation trophy. But that's a story.
It is.
I hope he does show up, actually.
Why not?
Show up and go rounds and get yourself in the countdown. And then rent the bike for the rest of the year.
Why not? That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, a lot of cool top 10 stories that we're missing out on.
Oh, terribly.
I mean, Ida is 307. It'd take a lot because that Sean Reed's car is not, it's not a slouch. But if she went and made it somehow to the semifinals and Sean went out first round and she qualified well, she might have an outside chance to make top 10. It might be too far out, but about 175 points right now.
Maybe.
160 some points back.
Right. I tell you who's looking smart right now. That's Steve Torrance. Like, we're going to race less, have fun while we're doing it, and we're still going to be within the top 10.
Exactly. Yeah, he's ninth. Ain't even didn't race all the races. Yeah, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart.
And like, go ahead and give Antron the yellow Wally. Go ahead and give Clay the yellow Wally. Go ahead and give Josh the yellow Wally.
Because they're all in.
Yeah, just go ahead. Why are you waiting on mathematical when
everybody get in? As long as if you show up, everybody get in.
It's like, whose line is it anyway?
Right.
The rules are made up and the points don't matter. It seems like where we're at.
Yes.
It just does.
That's good. It does. It is like that. It's like I said, I get where Glenn's coming from his standpoint, but I get
it too. I don't
buy it. A sponsor
it is not that strong.
A sponsor
it is not the little piggy in the brick house. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the first house.
You can't be a sponsor and think that you have your driver has a losing round record and he's in the countdown and you're happy about that.
Right.
You can't possibly be happy.
And how from a marketing standpoint does it give me any more exposure that you are in the countdown? I mean, NHRA doesn't do that much more for the cars in the countdown opposed to those that are not. I mean, you got your little moment on the stage. I don't understand. I don't understand.
If they want more drama and they want it to be more drama on TV, they got to get rid of this.
Again, the storylines that we're not getting that could be going into the U.S. Nationals, the biggest drag race in the world. Wow.
That's right. They're not doing a countdown at all. It's going to be straight points. Whoever gets to the
great.
To the top
look, again, my issue is I don't hate the countdown.
I don't either.
It is this rule of participation.
Yeah. It kills every storyline that that creates good TV, which they need. And speaking of TV, before we get out of here, everybody talks about this TV deal, and I'm looking at what the NHRA needs is if you were living under a rock, I knew this before it ever broke, but ESPN bought NFL Network. You know, they're finishing up the finals on it. Waiting for the league owners to sign off on this thing, and then we're going to start seeing some heads roll. But they also not only in the process now have NFL Network, they are launching a new streaming service that as long as you have ESPN on your cable, whatever, you can log into this streaming service that will now carry 10 WWE pay-per-views. So
wow,
they've gotten, that's big money. So my thing is if the NHRA a deal something of that magnitude where they were a part of something that basically like WWE would bring them in and let them be a part of that streaming service would be ideal. They need something like that. But let's not get it twisted. You can't, as a show, continue to put up one good night of qualifying, then proceed to fluff your own cheeks about it, be mad that nobody else fluffed your cheeks, and then not ever do it again. 2, you're going to have to tighten up on how the show is run. Why is it that we can turn them around between 1 and 2, but can't turn them around between 2 and 3? We got a whole 45 minutes or more than 45 minutes, hour and change between round 2 and semis. If you want to be on TV and you want to be live, well, guess what? You're going to have to tighten up. And you can't, it's just like a championship team or somebody trying to win a championship. When you get in the playoffs, you can't just all of a sudden just loaf your way all the way into the playoffs and then think you can go over there and flip a switch. It's not going to work. It needs to be practiced to the point of where it is just second nature. We're too lackadaisical on schedule and how we run, especially on race day. If you want to be on TV, it can't be a 12, 15-hour show. There better be some serious oil down and a serious wreck to delay something to that magnitude, or rain. That's it. When it's clear, we should not be on 12 to 15-hour days. So if you want to be on TV, there's a lot that the NHRA itself has to do broadcast-wise. So miss me with that fluffing cheeks because you did one good show that everybody else is already doing. All right? Ain't going to pat you on the back for that. Do something consistently that people already been doing anyway. IHRA just showed back up and is doing it. And they went through hell the first couple of races. So you are the WWE of drag racing. You don't get no pats on the back for doing something you should have been doing.
Should have been leading the way in the first place.
Exactly. So if you want a good TV deal and you want to be live, shit got to tighten up. It's just that plain and simple. And if it's not, it's going to be the same old, same old. And to be honest, I didn't get a chance to say that when Elon was on here, but I honestly hope it's not Fox, because Fox is doing us a disservice. They were great in the beginning, but they treating us like a redheaded stepchild right now. And if that's not going to change, nobody should be signing on the dotted line for any damn thing. And if you are, you're doing it out of comfort. And if you're doing it out of comfort, it means you don't give a shit, because they're going to give us the same stuff they've been giving us this past 2 years, probably more. But it ain't been first class. I can tell you that.
Comfort would be a bad place to be.
Hey, I'm just saying. They want.
It may very well be time to move on from Fox and be elsewhere. You know, look, I liked what Prime did with their NASCAR Cup races, And
I love what the CW is doing.
Here's my thing. Maybe it's time for NHRA to have a TV package that looks just different in the sense that maybe it's not just one network. Maybe you do split up some rate. Maybe the U.S. Nationals isn't on Prime. And maybe the regular season is on Fox, but the countdown is on CW. Maybe it should look that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, NASCAR's got multiple places it can go to. Granted, you got multiple places wanting Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we got to work on, is the product being more desirable and wanted. But I understand what you're saying. It is interesting that IHRA comes out, and with their stream, they put on what is in essence a full-blown TV production, and yet they use the advantages of it being a stream, and they're able to get in there and get good raw moments and candid moments with the drivers and teams. Now, I have not been able to watch too many national broadcasts this year, just with travel and time.
I haven't either.
The national broadcasts that I have watched, I have thought that they have been par, at least, if not good.
Mm-hmm.
But NHRA.TV, I do feel like at times that the NHRA, instead of using streaming capability to their advantage, they're resting on it.
Yeah. Yep.
When they could use it to their advantage.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot there to work with. It has become a greater platform now that they've kind of fixed some of the issues that were plaguing them pretty regular. But yeah, and you got to shake it up a little bit, man. Like I said, don't look for us, the media, to be doing your work for you. It's your broadcast. It's your job to make it great. And we don't need to pat you on the back for something that you're supposed to be leading the nation and doing. They were doing it before. So, get back to what works. Stop with this whatever's going on here. Whoever thought this was a good idea, it's not a good idea. It ain't been a good idea at all, because it's not working. We don't get no personalities. The fans don't really know these drivers that well. I mean, because we don't have the time. It's great you want to be on live and be broadcast, but we need a show. And I think Brian Loans and Tony Pedregon say it all the time. There's just some things that's got to change. And I'm sick and tired of seeing drivers getting time sheets before they ever even talk to the TV guys, because it kills everything. Take a look at what IHRA is doing. Them guys some dudes didn't even know they had one in the interviews that we got.
Right.
Got to stop it. And like I said, all this headset nonsense, look, that just like I said, you got a certain amount of time to talk to the driver. No sooner that top bulb go on, communication is gone. You don't get no communication anymore after that. Because I don't want the guy down there telling the person what they ran and how fast it was. They ain't supposed to find out until they get to the far end. This is TV. And in TV, you need a show. I mean, why is it that reality TV can figure that out, but we as a motorsport can't figure it out?
Look, Tony Pedregon went on a rant, and I agree with him. I've gone on rants, been saying it for a while. They have been saying it for a while that, look, PR people, TV people, just stop giving the drivers the dang ticket and letting them know everything about that run. You are castrating the people at the top end to give information and to have that interaction. Like, I love what I'm able to do. Well, I'm not able to do it now because I'm conducting the stream, but at Funny Car Chaos, man, get the drivers, or Nitro Chaos, get the drivers right when they're getting out of the car. Like, I had one incident with I think of this year earlier, Umlauf. He gets out of the car. He comes up to me. He's still still suited, and he grabs me by the shoulders. He's like, "Did I win? Did I win?" And he's like, and those are cool moments. But if you give them the slip of paper and let them figure it out just like, I have to agree with Tony. He kind of joked. He's like, if that machine only costs $500, I'm going down there and personally busting it up. I will give you the $500 to get another one.
I'll go down
I don't disagree with him. Like, that area should be void of information, but from the one designated to give it.
Exactly. And get your time sheet when you go across that scale. You might want to
Yeah.
Get your time sheet when you go across the scale. You can find out then. But there's a lot of work that they need to do. And I'm tired of certain people throwing that over the fence as if it's everybody else's problem. Nah, it's not everybody else's problem. It's your problem. And you refuse to fix the problem. And y'all just keep patting yourself on the back for stuff. And we get it like one time. Y'all do it one time and you want to act like you're special. Well, there's other forms of sports that do it every day and they improve.
Right.
Yet we waffle back and forth on what we gonna do. That crap gotta stop, man. If you want to, like I said, you want to have a good production and you want to be marketable and you want to be a gym, somebody that wants to go out and grab you and to really put you up, then you got to do the work yourself. Stop relying on everybody else to do your work.
Another thing, racers in the NHRA, if you have not had a chat with your PR people or PR person about let the TV deliver the news, you're part of the problem too. Not just the NHRA production.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be a surprise. You don't have to know everything.
Nope.
Talk to your crew chief, be like, do not tell me the time over the radio. You don't have to know it right then. Give a little bit of suspense back to TV, which can help take the sport further. And taking the sport further is not you knowing everything and answering a generic question with a generic answer. We need a legitimate shock. We need a legitimate surprise. We need legitimate joy. We need legitimate disappointment. We need those moments. Some of the greatest drag racing moments is Steve Evans, a Brett Kepner, or whoever on the top end delivering news that the driver was not privy to because they did not at the time have access to it, and they were shocked by it.
That's where it needs to go back to.
Yeah, and it's fascinating that drag racing has got away from what set them apart in motorsports with that moment. And now other motorsports are trying to mimic it, like NASCAR trying to figure out, well, we'll just put a camera guy out there on the finish line, and after they do the burnout, we'll go talk to them to try to mimic that. They don't even bother with victory lane anymore.
Heck no.
They don't.
Victory lane is a
right on the finish line now.
Photo op.
and now drag racing is like, come to the bubble.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That ain't going. That's not work. It's not working. It has not been working. So I don't know. There's a lot that they need to do if they want this to be successful, and there's major changes that have to be done if you want to provide good TV. That's just all it is to it.
Yes, and look, the drivers, you got to go along with it.
Yeah, they've got to participate in a lot of this stuff.
Yes, drivers, roll down your window in the staging lanes before round one.
Yep.
Pull the oxygen mask away that you think's helping you, and talk to somebody.
Yeah, that a lot of that has to change too. Whether it's at the ropes, whether it's in the staging lanes, all that stuff's got to change. Everybody's got to participate, and everybody's got to be a part of one deal. It can't just be one person, because at the end of the day, it ain't much media, ain't much of, contrary to what you might believe, there ain't that much media covering this. And if you
there's not. And I think over time, more people in time will learn. Look, let me put it. I'll be real with you. I haven't been to a single national event this year at all, and I may not go to a single national event at all. That would be the first time in my time doing this since I started Monday Morning Racer that I would not have gone to a national event. It is not worth it in the pocketbook to go to a national event.
Yeah.
It's not. For the NHRA. Now, later on, my work I do with Phil Eds, I may be at a national event this year, but right now it's not on the schedule.
Yeah.
I earn a living in motorsports at Sega races, at Funny Car Nitro Chaos races, at races that I schedule with partners for coverage through Monday Morning Racer.
Yep.
The NHRA typically is a loss. And then you go and you're making an attempt to cover, and people don't want to give you time, or you got a pit crew person that doesn't want you near the pit, or thinks you shouldn't be there, or even though you got the media vest, or you got people who aren't willing to return a phone call. There are some great people at the NHRA. Do not misunderstand me, but there's a whole lot more opportunity away from the NHRA, in my opinion.
I've got with the way.
I mean, I can go to the IHRA, and I've got someone that's like, you know what? Hey, we're sorry. We've been trying to work on this. We're new. We are going to get the credentials handled. Hey, by the way, do you need a golf cart back to the tower since you walked down all the way down here and this is the wrong place and we didn't have the information you should have had that should have come from us?
Yeah.
I mean, I shared several weeks ago, like the first time I was ever looking for the credential trailer, and this was not necessarily an NHRA employee, but nonetheless, this is what I got at the NHRA, Pomona, Winter Nationals was, well, you're at the wrong trailer and you don't need to be here. You're not a part of my crew. Instead of someone saying, you know what, you're in the wrong place, but let me help you out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want my organization marked from the bottom to the top with good customer service.
That goes a long way.
It
That
does.
goes a long way.
And like IHRA right now, customer service been great.
Yep. So important, man. So important. Got too much things going on right now to be.
And look, there's some I firmly think if I emailed Allie Bland right now, she'd be more than helpful. She always has been.
Yep.
Josh Hatchett has been more than
two
helpful. Always.
those two
Do
are
not
great.
misunderstand me. There's great people at the
Those are great.
NHRA, but I also have had some bad experiences at that level too.
Yeah, boy. Hey, man, you gotta go where the money is, and that's the bottom line. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I gotta go where the money is.
And again, I feel like there's far more opportunity right now beyond NHRA drag racing and covering it than there is in it.
It's not a lie.
You know, I think about certainly the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel is not a representation of every motorsports channel, but the NHRA drag races that I covered last year were well outperformed by stuff from March Meet and Outlaw Pro Mod drag racing. And that's a very small litmus test, if you will. But when it comes to NHRA content, it does not seem to perform as well as other drag racing content from the drag racing world. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those entities that is filming the entire elimination of Top Fuel, Funny Car, or Pro Stock that gets plenty of exposure on national television, and yet those videos exist and still are up there and they never get yanked. And yet, I don't know. I find that interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on that I find that there are rules for that people can do.
Right,
that other
right,
people can't
right.
do.
But yet, then Les Mayhew gets knocked on concerning Competition Eliminator, which gets hardly like no national TV time. I don't know. I don't weird, man.
It's weird.
I don't know.
Weird. What you gonna do?
Well, I'm going to cover a Southeast Gastro Association race this week, and after that, I'm going to a Funny Car Chaos race, and then after that, I'm going to the IHRA. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do.
Sounds like a blast. A lot of NFL and Sega stuff coming up for me, boy. You're on the roll.
Good.
Yep. Got to go where the money is, man.
You do. And again, right now, there's just far better places I can go.
Hey, like I said.
Yes.
That green.
That's all there's to it.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's what? We 2.5 hours.
We have waxed long, yes.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yes.
So
that it is.
It's been a blast. It's been real. It's been fun. Thanks for y'all for commenting and participating. We always appreciate it. Thank our guests,
Absolutely.
Elon and Buddy Hull. Get well soon, my brother. And until next time, as my brother would say, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.
QuarterMileClassifieds.com is a new and easier alternative to online classified advertising. We make it a simple experience with $20 getting your car, hauler, engine, or parts listed for 2 weeks. If you want to make a bigger splash, we have VIP listings that provide even more exposure, including social media. On QuarterMileClassifieds.com, you get up to 10 photos of video and up to 2,000 characters to deliver the message you need to make the sale. QuarterMileClassifieds.com is a trusted classified ad partner of Competition Plus and the Rooftech Comp Eliminator Bonus Fund. Visit QuarterMileClassifieds.com today.